I would rather die a meaningful death than live a meaningless life. This is one of the statements of the late Senator Benigno Simeon Ninoy Aquino Jr. when asked not to return to the Philippines after receiving warnings of reported threats against his life in the country. August 21, 1983. A known staunch opposition leader has been fatally gunned down as he exited the plane. Aquino arrived at the tarmac of Manila International Airport on board CAL Flight CI-811 from Taipei at 1:04 in the afternoon, just when he thought he will receive a warm welcome as he returned to his country as a patriot. He was instead treacherously and brutally shot at the back of his head after being fetched by military men from inside the plane and led out down into the bridge stairs. The most prominent opponent of then-President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. fell dead with face kissing the soil of his native land. Ninoy, as what he is fondly called by his family and closest colleagues, was born to Benigno S. Aquino Sr. and Aurora A. Aquino in Concepcion Town, Tarlac Province. Ninoy's teen years have been said to be full of turmoil, most especially when his father was jailed as a collaborator and after 3 years died. Ninoy decided to go to Korea to report on the Korean War at the age of 17 and reported the war for Manila Times, wherein he earned the Philippine Legion of Honor at 18 for his work. In 1954, Ninoy began to study law at the University of the Philippines and belonged to the same branch of the Upsilon Sigma Phi fraternity as his future political opponent Ferdinand Marcos. At the age of 22, Ninoy became the country's youngest mayor in his hometown. Then after, he became a vice governor and then a provincial governor before being elected as the Secretary General of the country's Liberal Party. At 34, Ninoy became the nation's youngest senator. Being a senator, Ninoy became administration's most prominent critic. He blasted his former fraternity brother, who was the president of the country, for allegedly setting up a militarized government and for the alleged corruption and extravagance. Ninoy's Liberal Party staged a political campaign kick-off rally which was bombed by unknown suspects. The senator immediately accused Marcos's Nacionalistas Party of being behind the attack, but the then-president countered by blaming the communists and arresting a number of Maoists for good measure. Which is why when Marcos declared martial law in 1972, Ninoy was one of the people jailed on fabricated charges.
As of the 21st of this month, I signed Proclamation number 1081, placing the entire Philippines under martial law.
And Mr. Marcos said, I declared martial law to save democracy. But by saving democracy, he killed it.
Ninoy faced traps of murder, subversion, and weapons possession and was tried in a military kangaroo court. After many series of trial, in 1977, the military commission found the senator guilty on all counts and was to be executed by a firing squad. The death of Ninoy became a pivotal point in Philippine history. It has inspired millions of Filipinos to take to the streets and protest to the government of President Marcos, who later called for the controversial snap election before fleeing the country and conceding the presidency to Ninoy's wife, late President Corazon C. Aquino. Until this moment, there is still no known suspect on who really assassinated the senator. There are many accounts, but still no proof. Historian and military analyst Jose Antonio Custodio said he was one of those who were encouraged by the bravery and courage of Ninoy to rally to the streets and protest against the administration. Meantime, Custodio said that the legacy that Aquino has left the Filipino people is the legacy of bravery, courage, and the attitude of standing up for your principles.
Well, ano to, yung pwede natin sabihin legacy of courage and bravery, no? Because remember, no, pwede naman siyang tumahimik nung time ng Marcos regime. Pero, imbis na yun, kinalaban pa rin niya, no? Remember, kinulong na nga siya because of yung members ng opposition during the declaration of martial law, no? And yet, despite that, nanindigan pa rin siya sa mga prinsipyo niya.
Despite all the hurdles faced by Ninoy, he has proven that bravery, courage, persistence, and conviction will bring you to something bigger and better. The democracy that the Filipino people enjoys until this very moment.
If I die, then I die, and there's only one to suffer. So long as you will continue the struggle and carry the torch, then I think we will have a better Philippines. Rather than have one carrying the torch, we'll have many.
For Roseanne, Dela Cruz, News Force.